Now we'll discuss Article 18, a proposal to amend the zoning bylaw regarding site plan special permit granting authority. Currently, the planning board is only grants site plan special permit when it is the only permit being sought. But if they're requesting a site plan special permit and the petitioner needs other relief, they go to the Zoning Board of Appeals. So the process is split. This article proposes that the planning board become the site plan special permit granting authority in all cases.
So Angela, this is a sort of a procedural change, I would say, right?
It is.
Could you explain to the public why we're seeking this change?
I will.
Yeah.
So back in 2009, the town enacted a sweeping zoning reform or change that changed many different zoning bylaws and procedures. This one was included. The reason that the zoning bylaw review committee at that time decided to change the process, which was originally planning board reviewed all site plan special permits and granted all site plan special permits, and zoning dealt with relief, dealt with anyone who needed some kind of, to appeal the bylaw to get some kind of relief. The 2009 changes were enacted to try to streamline the process, to smooth out some inconsistencies that were perceived at the time to be happening. So that was passed. The planning board changed its process, and over the past many years, it's become problematic. In 2012, the planning board proposed that town meeting revert back to the old system of planning board doing all the site plan, but it was decided by the zoning bylaw review committee and some of the former members of that committee that it would be better to wait a while longer to make sure we knew for sure that it wasn't working. Fast forward all these years later, and I'm confident in reporting that it has become problematic, that there have been, there's confusion for petitioners, sort of not understanding where they're going for what permit. There is a lack of consistency and a lack of chain of custody, if you will, of applications that come through and need multiple permits and are sort of bounce back and forth because they're not sure exactly who to go to. And this change, going back to all site plan special permits going through the planning board and all permits for relief going to the zoning board, creates one point of contact, both for the petitioner, for whom it makes the process actually much easier, and for town staff. It creates clarity and clear communication between the planning board, the building commissioner, and the zoning board of appeals.
So for someone who's applying for a building permit and then a special permit, you've described the process now, you've described the improvements. How will they perceive any difference in that application?
They won't perceive any difference in the application. The application cost will be the same, the application procedure will be the same, whereas they will go to the building commissioner, they will submit plans that, and the building commissioner will determine what kind of permits are needed, and then they will schedule a hearing to have a site plan special permit if they need a site plan special permit, and that will be determined by the building commissioner. Then the site plan special permit will be scheduled with the planning board. The planning board will either grant, deny, or grant with special conditions the site plan special permit. That gets filed with the town clerk. There's a 20-day waiting period. At the subsequent meeting of the zoning board of appeals, if that petitioner needs additional relief, they will then go with their approved site plan to the zoning board of appeals, and they'll be able to get the other relief that they may need. It's a cleaner, more streamlined process, although it may seem to take longer. It actually will be much more clear and will avoid petitions being continued month after month after month because of deficiencies in the process.
I can say that in my experience on the planning board, that has been the case.
It has, yes.
I would ask one more question, which is just to clarify, this has been run by the Zoning Board of Appeals, and they're completely okay with this change,
They are,
right?
yes. I've discussed it with members of the current chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, the former chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals, the building commissioner, the community development department, and of course, all of my fellow planning board members. It's also been proposed to the Board of Selectmen, the Select Board, pardon me.
Right. Well, thank you.